Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are at. I want to thank you for checking out the Cali Truck Stop Theater. Hold on just a moment. Clean this off here for just a moment. All right. All right, cool. Anyway, so grace and peace to you guys. Greetings, tidings. Just like how Apostle Paul would say when he was greeting his peoples, Peter. Anyways, I'm down here in Mississippi. What? This is, where is it? Canton. Down here in Canton, Mississippi, and it's a pretty nice day out here. I'm not on Facebook, so I can't switch the view back and forth. This phone kind of sucks. It doesn't have that capability. But through Facebook, I can do that kind of stuff. But if you just look at the glare off of my glasses, look at that. If you just look at the glare off of my glasses, you can see the blue skies. You can see all that stuff. And so it's actually it's not hot down here right now. It's actually kind of cool, breezy. But anyways, so excuse me. I just got done with some tuna. This is actually the first time that I ate today. I think let's see. I've been up since about 4:30 this morning, and it is now, what do we got here? It's almost about 2:30 in the afternoon now. But I had some water and I had a shake earlier. But as far as for some food, that was the first thing that I ate today, was that fish. But anyways, on this episode, I'm just gonna this is gonna be pretty short, I think. I'm just gonna be ranting about my observations that I've been seeing and thinking about in regards to this pandemic with the virus and everything. Let me just thought I had something on my tooth there. Anyways, so I didn't have anything. It just looked weird. But so I've been driving around all over the country, and it's more now. There's not a place that I don't go where I don't see freeway signs, road signs, billboards, ads on YouTube, because I spend a lot of time watching YouTube. In the times that I do venture off to see TV or even listen to radio, you always hearing about stay safe out here, cover up, wash your hands, do all this stuff to limit your chances of getting the virus. And I'm seeing all these things, stay home, don't go out and stuff like that. I got to thinking about a couple things. One is, like, I see all these signs saying stay home, stay home, so the coronavirus will won't spread so fast, and stop and everything. And I got to thinking, like, Why why is it that we are being told to stay home? Why don't we just turn it around and tell this coronavirus to stay at home, stop it, and that's what that message was. It was telling everybody to stay home and socially distance themselves from each other. And I'm like, what the hell? And so I'm like, why don't we all get together and just tell the coronavirus to go back home and socially distance itself from us? I mean, why can't we do that? I believe that this well, first of all, this coronavirus is definitely, it is definitely something that is not of God, and I'm not going to be preaching on here, but this thing spreads so damn much. Not only because of its ease of spreading it, but the main reason why it spread the way that it spread is because of, number one, fear, and number two, stupidity or rebellion. So on the one hand, you got people who hear this stuff, hear this, hear the details about this virus or whatever it is, and instantly they get scared. Now, I may mention this before, that fear, fear was one of the big contributors to the reason why that this thing was spreading the way that it was and is. Reports are coming out that it's starting to decline, and that's a good thing. But I think that we need to, just chill out a little bit on letting the cows out of the pen, if I could say that, But fear has driven this thing into unimaginable proportion. Because you get people that, like I said, they hear the details about what this thing does, and I said this before, is that it's not so much the details about what this about the symptoms and stuff like that scare people, because everybody on this planet has at least one time in their life had a high temperature, had fever, had some kind of cold or flu-like symptoms. Okay, that's not the thing that scares people. The thing that scares people is that when they hear the word death, when they hear the word death, that's what scares a lot of people. And there are two major reasons why people are afraid of death. Number one, they don't know really how to understand what happens during death or after death. And truthfully, nobody really has a firm understanding of what happens after when or after a person dies. The other thing is that you got people who are, well, they not only do they not know what's going to happen, some of them do know what's going to happen, but they have this mindset of they fear what would happen to them after death. See, I really don't. I think that doesn't matter who you are, whether you publicly say that you believe in heaven or hell, or you don't believe in it. Excuse me. Let me get some water down in my throat here. Whether you publicly agree or believe that there is a heaven and hell, or you don't agree that there is a heaven or a hell, deep inside, you know that there is a heaven or a hell. And even though that you might try to fool people and saying that you don't believe in such and such or whatever, you know, you know, deep down inside, when when you think about it, you're like, oh, well, when these people think about it, they feel that they don't want to go to hell, and they feel that they don't know how to change that, or they just want more time, or you know, they're just so, you know, they're just so fearful that they're going to go to hell, period. That causes a lot of people to fear death. Okay, and that's the thing, on the side of fear, is that you got a lot of people that are fearing, they're fearing death, because death to them is a horrible thing. And these people are ignorant to the fact of, well, in many cases, well, most of the cases, they're ignorant to the fact that that you do have a choice of, you know, what it is that you know, where it is you want to go. But you know, the thing is that death is going to come to you at some point. Everybody on this earth that is living, at some point, is gonna face death. That's just how it goes. Just as common as one day you're gonna get a high fever, you're gonna get you know, you're gonna get a cough and a sniffle and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna happen. You on this earth, it's gonna happen. So those are the two major things. Now, there might be some other reasons of why, you know, carelessness, yeah, but that kind of goes hand in hand with stupidity and you know, what word was I using? Anyways, but you know, carelessness is kind of in a different category, but it's still grouped with that, with what I was talking about earlier. So those are the two main reasons why this is spread. Now, for those who fear death, you know, like I said, they don't understand really well what happens when a person dies, where they go after they leave the body. Some of them do, but they're just ignorant to the fact that they are the ones that have the power to decide whether or not they end up in hell or end up in heaven. But the impact of the decision is made prior to dying. You know, once you're dead, you know, you're bound to go either way, and there's no coming back from that. So, you know, you make your decisions before you die. You make your decisions before you get into that. Well, hopefully you make a decision before you get into a jam, to where, you know, before you're on death's doorstep, to decide where it is that you want to go. And a lot of people just afraid because of ignorance, or because of wrong thinking. Now the other people who are they could be careless, they could be rebellious. That was a word. They could be, you know, rebellious, you know, and just flat out ignorant. You know, these are the people who is like, oh, I don't care about dying. Da, da, da. Hold up. You know, I ain't afraid of dying. I ain't afraid of this. I ain't afraid of that. Well, it's true. You shouldn't be afraid to die. But it doesn't mean that you need to defy the order of things. You know, knowing that this virus spreads the way that it spreads, they say it's an airborne virus, and the way you contract it is mainly through the air, but any opening it's you're able to contract or contact this virus through any of your opening, your ears, your nose, your eyes, and even your mouth. Okay, these are these are the ways that it does get into your system. Okay, and at least that's what I've heard them say. That's what I've heard them say, is that it comes that way, but it's mostly through airborne. You know, when somebody's coughing or sneezing or something like that. Now you may pick it up on your hands, or on certain objects, but the way that it gets into your body that way is if you take your hand and rub it all over your mouth and your nose, your eyes, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I understand from on the way that you get it, But I it's just the thing that irritates me is that you get these people who are well both groups actually kind of irritate me, but the ones that irritate me the most are the ones who are like ignorant and rebellious. Those are the ones that kind of chap my hide a little bit, because these are the ones that are disregarding what the government is whether they're local or federal. They have rules that are set in place to try and slow this thing down, and hopefully to get to stop it. You got people who are actually, you got people in government who are actually good people, and they are trying to do what is right. Okay, they're trying to do what is right, but you got these ignorant and rebellious people, which in all truth, it's not so much the people that are the problem, but it is the spirit that is behind the people that is influencing them to act certain ways. These people are deliberately going against what the law enforcement and government officials are telling them not to do. And they're all saying that, oh, well, we need to work, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. This is a good indication that these people do not trust God. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna preach this. I'm not gonna try to preach, but this is just my observations. Okay, this is my observations. You got these people that are out here being, they're being ignorant. It's causing fear. You got these people that are being rebellious and things like that. I would say that most, if not all, these people are not trusting God. Now, and that poses the problem, because they're not trusting God. They don't, they're doing things out of fear. Sometimes when people get angry, they're actually in fear, and I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that before. When I see people getting angry and upset, it wasn't until recently that that I've heard people or I've had people tell me, well, sometimes when somebody's feeling fearful, they do things like they get mad. It's not always displaying that they're scared, but sometimes they get mad. Sometimes they do stupid stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, that's that that changed my mind on a lot of things. Like, instead of thinking that somebody is just always upset all the time, it may be because it's rooted in fear. So people act different ways when it comes to fear. But you got these people who, they think that they're invincible, and they think that the rules don't apply to them, um, and they just go and they just do whatever they want to do, and that's just, that's rebellion. And I'm not saying that I've never done it before. I've done it, not in this particular situation, but I've done it before, and it's just because I didn't really understand. I really didn't understand. I thought it was for me and all that kind of stuff. But there's a time to rebel, and there's a time to set your differences aside and listen, and just follow the status quo. There's a time for all that kind of stuff, and this is one of those times. I hear so many people talking about, well, this is a God-given right to be free and to do what we want to do, and all that kind of stuff, and they don't even know what they're talking about when they say stuff like that. Because they blatantly forget, or they so suddenly forget that that there are certain laws that we must obey. There are certain commands and stuff that we must obey, and to obey them would be a way to honor and worship God. See, some people thinking that all the time, worshiping God is raising up your hands and making a bunch of noise and dancing around and running all over the room and making all these heebie-jeebie noises. They think that that's worship. That's not always worship. Worship is oftentimes just following the rules. As a matter of fact, what it is obeying. That is worship. Okay? That is worship. That's real true worship. Is obeying. Obeying these leaders. You know what I'm saying? Obeying your parents. Obeying the elders when they tell you to do something. That's the thing. You obey. That's how you worship. Whether you're worshiping God, or maybe this is the wrong word to use, but you worship other people, when you obey them. Now, I'm not saying that you're worshiping them on the same level that you would worship God, but that is a form of worship, and that would please God if you do that, if you do obey. Okay. The only time, and I said I wasn't gonna preach, but I find myself starting to do that kind of stuff. But anyways, the Bible itself says, says that we must obey, obey those who've been put in positions over us. Whether they are good or whether they are bad, we must obey them. Now, there are times where we are allowed to disobey them, and that's only when those who've been appointed over us are trying to oppress us in a way to where we can't worship God. Okay, that is about the only time where God or were the examples that we can disobey those in high positions. Okay, and even when we do disobey them, we try to do it as respectful as possible and as loving as possible. I mean, now it doesn't mean that, hey, I'm going to be saying, hey, how you doing, neighbor? I'm sorry I couldn't do this. Sometimes we got to get rough. It all depends upon the situation. Okay, but we try to do it as respectful, as peaceful, and as honoring as much as possible, because these people are in positions of power. Now, those that are in positions of power, they have a decision to make sure that they do the best that they can by the people. They are under under judgment. Under judgment to God, if they fail to if they fail to treat the people that they have been placed over, if they fail to treat them properly, they got their own accounting to God about that. So don't worry about how this person is, and this person was talking to me in this fashion and stuff like that. Hold on a second. Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man? Your load going to Memphis?
No, it's not going to Memphis. All right. Okay. Side note. This is the tip. Now, this gentleman just asked me, where's my logo? Now, I didn't know where the hell he came from. I didn't know who he was. But he wanted to know where my load was going. Now, as I see him walking away, it appears to me that he works that he works at this facility. But here's a tip: don't discuss the details of your trips to anybody unless they really, well, not that they really need to know, but unless they have been authorized to to know that kind of business. So, as now he asked me if my load was going to Memphis, and I'm like, no. But notice I didn't tell him where I was taking my load, because I didn't know this dude. I had never seen him before. I didn't see him in the thing, but as he started walking away, I noticed he's got a little walkie-talkie on, and he's walking into the building. So I mean, hey, maybe he does work there, but that is very important. You don't want to be telling everybody, where it is that you're going, or what you're carrying, that kind of stuff, because that is a safety thing. It's a security thing. You don't want nobody knowing anything about your load. If somebody's asking you something about your load, and you don't want to be rude and just straight up tell them, hey, I don't want to tell you, or I can't tell you, just give them some fictitious information. Always have some kind of fictitious information readily available to hand out. So yeah, you don't want to do that, and I'll tell you, I may tell you where I'm at after I'm here, or maybe after I've left the place. I might tell you where I've been to, or something like that, but I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you where I'm going or what I got on my currently on my truck. That could potentially put me in danger of somebody wanting to rob me, and you don't want to put yourself in any kind of danger that where somebody can or somebody may try to rob you or whatever. And another side note, when you are transporting your goods, you do want to take a look at what is happening around you. And if you can, take note of the vehicles that have been following you for quite some time. If a vehicle is constantly following you, and you think they've been following you a little bit too long, and you think this is too much of a coincidence that they are following you at every turn that you go, for the length of miles that you're going, then you have some options. Now, the option would be that I wouldn't advise stopping right away. I would keep on moving, keep on driving, and I would get on the phone with the police. Let them know what's going on, and that you would, you feel that you're in danger, and you'd like to have an officer come and intervene. You also want to get a hold of your dispatch. Let them know what's going on and stuff like that. But while all this is going on, if you can, keep moving. If you if you can drive around in circles, go ahead and drive around in circles, and that'll be a clear-cut indication that somebody's following you. If they taken every turn that you taken, even if you went around in circles, they're taking the same turns that you're taking. That's a clear-cut indication that somebody's following you. And I would advise to not stop. Keep on moving. The moment you stop, that would make you vulnerable for somebody to come rolling up on you, either to try and extract you out of the truck, or they might even try to break into the trailer while you while you stop. So be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your route. If you notice somebody following too much, get a hold of law enforcement. Let your dispatch know what's going on, and if you have to stop, try to stop in a public place that's well lit. And if you get confronted and you're ordered to get out the truck or whatever, just do what they ask. Do what they ask, and let them do what they got to do with the truck, because your life is not worth it. But if you keep yourself out of harm's way, you do good. Anyways, so back to the regularly scheduled programming. I done forgot where I was at in my rant here. But anyways, I'll just go ahead on with my observations about this coronavirus pandemic. You see, so I've been seeing these signs talking about, socially distance yourself, wear a mask when you're in public, wash your hands, and all that kind of stuff. And I was in a Walmart one day, had my mask on, my bandana on, and I was just thinking about it this one time. I was like, I'm going through the stores, or I'm going through Walmart, and every time that I go through Walmart, I'm like, I'm trying to get some, some of the Clorox wipes and stuff like that, the aerosol sprays and stuff like that. And I'm like, every time I go in there, the damn shelves are continually empty. And I'm like, are you serious? It's like, I'm trying to figure out what the disconnect is here, because I'm like, now, I know these stores know that everybody's looking for, these disinfectants, the Clorox and Lysol wipes, and these hand sanitizers and stuff like that, and I'm looking at it like this. I'm like, either they're not ordering the stuff like they should to keep their shelves stocked with this stuff, or there's a break somewhere in the supply chain. Whether the store tried to order some, they couldn't get any more, or whatever. But these places are constantly running out of hand sanitizer and the aerosol sprays. Now, I'm starting to see that there are some toilet tissues being some of them are on the shelves and stuff like that, which kind of tells me that people aren't going crazy over the toilet paper as they were earlier. I don't get it. I'm not gonna be too hard on those people grabbing up toilet paper and stuff like that, because your butt's supposed to be at home anyway. So if you're at home, you got to go to the bathroom, and so I can understand the reason for for stocking up on toilet paper. If you got to stay at home and stuff like that. But this is what I don't get. is that I'm constantly seeing, my legs is getting a little burnt up out here. What I'm constantly seeing is that the hand sanitizer and the Lysol sprays and stuff like that are constantly flying off the shelf. By the time I get there, there ain't nothing there. Now, I find it's concerning for me, and I'll lay this all out here. I'm trying to do this as strategically as possible, but my question is why is it that all the hand sanitizer and these sprays disappearing off the shelves like crazy? If number one, if you're not like an essential worker that's buying this stuff for when you're going out, or excuse me, when you're at work or something like that, and you need to spray down some stuff, right? Or like in my case, for me, I'm constantly on the go. This here is my home pretty much, and so wherever I stop at, it's gonna be my home for the day, or for however long that I'm there. Now, I have to be out here because I'm working, but I'm constantly in and out, and I'm touching various things, things of that nature. And I'm going to places where the air might not be so clean, might not be so fresh, or what have you. So sometimes a little bit of disinfectant spray or stuff like that would really help my situation the most. Okay, but most of y'all at the time of this recording and earlier should be at home, shouldn't be going out as ordered and directed by the government, law enforcement. Y'all really don't really have that much of a need for the disinfectant sprays. I mean, maybe a can or two at a time, which should last maybe about a week or two, maybe even longer than that. But prior to this pandemic, these things were not flying off the shelves. As a matter of fact, it didn't seem like anybody was like really buying the stuff. Because they've always had full shelves of these items. Now all of a sudden you can't find the stuff anywhere, and I'm like, why do you need a lot of this stuff when you're at home? You're at home. Yeah, you're cleaning. Yeah, but do you need to use up all the Clorox wipes? For every little mess that you make? Do you need to spray your Lysol spray every time somebody makes a little grunt, or that kind of little thing? I mean, come on. I understand that masks are flying off the shelves and stuff like that. Now people are getting really creative with making their own masks, But I'm just trying to figure out, what was you all doing before this pandemic? What was you all doing that you needed, 3 or 4 gallons of this antibacterial stuff and the Lysol spray? What was you doing before then? Because you weren't buying all this stuff before. Now you're buying it, and it's like you're being overly zealous with buying the stuff, and overly zealous in using what you got. That's another thing too. You're overusing stuff, and this is I'm looking at, this is what I'm getting to. I'm seeing all these things, all these signs and everything, and they're saying, wash your hands, keep yourself clean, but mostly it's wash your hands, And as I go to these as I'm going to these Walmarts and stuff like that, and I'm trying to get cleaning supplies for myself, I noticed, like I said, I noticed that these hand sanitizers and these, uh, um, these germ sprays are disappearing. But what I'm seeing on the shelves is the soaps, the antibacterial soaps, the hand soaps and stuff like that. They're stocked full of them. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if they're saying that you need to wash your hands to help try and slow or decrease your chances in getting this virus, why is it that all these antibacterial, the hand sanitizers and these Lysol sprays and stuff flying off the shelves? I mean, the first question came to my mind was, are these people washing their hands with this stuff? And I'm like, I hope that they're not doing that, because all they're doing is like you're not running the water, nothing like that. You just slapping this stuff on, and you're doing this right here, all right? You're doing that, and you're not doing you're not getting rid of the germs that are all over your hands. All you're doing is spreading it around. Now, yeah, granted, now this stuff, may kill quite a bit of them, but what about the ones that actually kind of make it, through? Well, you just did all this. You didn't do nothing. You didn't put your hands under the water. You didn't take the soap, put the soap in your hands. Get the dirt to come up off your hands and all the germs and stuff like that. And then you didn't put your hands back in the water to wash all this stuff off. It's got to go somewhere. So, so I'm like, I hope that these people are not using the hand sanitizer and these wipes and these sprays in place of washing your hands, because I'm like, that's stupid. You really are supposed to wash your hands with soap and water, and then, as a kind of like, now, you people who like to frequent the bars and stuff like that and do all these drinks, you know that you have your main drink, and then you have what you call a chaser, which means that you down that first bit of alcohol, and then immediately after that you hit it with something else, and that's how you really should be washing your hands. You go with the antibacterial soap, get you some warm, almost almost hot water, wash your hands up really good, rinse them off, dry them off, and the hand sanitizer is, that's your chaser. You put it on just like that. Okay. Now, if you're in a situation where you don't have the soap and water and stuff like that, yeah, okay, yeah, you can use the hand sanitizer to kind of do a little bit of something. But that's not ideal. But that's the situation that I find myself in a lot of times, because I don't have readily access to good running water all the time. I got soap and stuff like that, but I don't have access to a lot of running water. So now, excuse me. Now, I'm like, these people, if they're using this stuff to wipe their hands all the time, these people don't wash their hands. They don't. Before this was happening, I doubt if they ever did wash their hands. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know I'm taking a long time for this. If you don't like, damn, it's already 44 minutes. If you don't like me ranting like this, I mean, you can always cut me off. But I'm just talking, and if you want to, I would appreciate it if you sat and listen to me talking, and if you get a hold of me, we can probably have a conversation about this stuff, but I I'm thinking these people are not washing their hands at all. They don't wash their hands. Now, sometimes I don't wash my hands. I'm better at washing my hands now than I was before, but I wasn't like, super dirty, nothing like that. I still was carrying, wipes with me and stuff like that. And so I was using the hand sanitizer and stuff like that. But when I got a chance, I could I would wash my hands and things like that. So, but yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm like, this is this is nuts. And okay, so what I'm really trying to say is that it seems to me like people are just going overboard on taking supplies. Like they're taking more supplies than what they actually need. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm looking at myself and those who are in my type of situation. I'm out here on this road, and being out here on this road, I am not always privileged to be in an area where there's running water. I'm not always privileged to be in a place where there's a bathroom. I'm not always privileged to have certain amenities that you people who are constantly at home have. I don't have cable TV. I rarely watch any cable TV anyways. But I don't have cable TV. I don't have running water. And so if I want running water, if I want a shower, I gotta go look for a place to go take a shower, or look for a place that has running water. You got a bathroom. You pay your bills, hopefully. So if you pay your bills, then you got water readily accessible to you. You got food readily accessible to you. See, I gotta go out and get my stuff. There are some things that I do keep on here with me, but the majority of the things I gotta go out and get it. So I'm just saying that I think that people. Well, I'm speaking to a brick wall when I say this, but I'm thinking that some people. Oh, snaps! Did he hit him? Oh, okay. I thought. I'm sorry. I thought a trailer. I thought somebody hit the truck next to me. But there's a couple people out here, and for sure one person was just talking about how he almost got hit by the back of the trailer swinging around. Anyway, so anyways, okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. Anyway, so it's just one of the. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Alright, where you headed, Bob?
Let's see here. Going to Marietta.
Yeah, Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
Truck is door 3. You bump that top, sir.
Door 3? Okay.
Door 3, be patient. It's gonna be a little bit. We'll get you out there.
Okay. What did you say about going forward?
Door 3.
No. I think you said something about going forward.
Yeah, go forward about 3 inches so I get my plate.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha.
It's too tight, I can't get it up.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. All right. So I got a door that I'm going into. Now, I did let him know where I was going because he asked, and I actually spoke with this dude, so I know he worked there. So I got a door to go into, and So I'm gonna try to get this out real quick. I'm just gonna cut right through it. I'm just like, look, you got people that are in my situation who, you know, don't have access to all these amenities 24/7, and Lysol wipes and stuff like that is very essential to people like us, because you know we you know, it's convenient for us to get to wipe down the surfaces in our vehicles, because we do actually get out quite a bit, and we're constantly touching stuff. You know, we're constantly touching stuff. So whenever we get a chance, you know, we like to try to clean up our surfaces so that, you know, so that we can cut down on the risk of catching any kind of viruses and stuff like that. And by no means anyway that I'm you know, saying that, you know, that any of us are fearful of catching anything. I mean, at least for me, I'm not fearful of catching it, but I do try to take precautions in not trying to catching anything. You know, I'm not saying that I'm invincible, but when I say, you know, that I'm not gonna, I don't get sick, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna catch this, I'm not gonna catch that. I'm saying this all on faith. I'm not saying this to be arrogant or to be ignorant or even to be rebellious. I'm saying this because I have a faith that I trust, and so I believe that when I say stuff, many times if I have a belief in it, a strong belief in it, I believe in the things that I do say. If I have a strong belief in it. So let me move on up here to the next this place here. So I have a faith, and I don't believe that I would you know, I don't believe that I would contract this virus. I don't believe that I would contract any kind of disease, anything like that. But that does not mean that I'm 100% immune to it. I have to believe that God is protecting me from that, from those things. So, but see, I'm not ignorant enough to think that I'm invincible. I just say that, you know, even though I say that I'm not going to, you know, get these, I'm not going to get these diseases and stuff like that. I'm not so ignorant as to say, well, is that 3 or 2? Hold on a second. I'm trying to see which one I'm going in here to. Hold on. Okay. So I am. I know that I'm vulnerable, but it's the protection of God that will keep me safe. And if I should, you know, I'm not ignorant. I'm not so ignorant to where I don't understand that if I should contract any kind of sickness or disease, I know that my God will see me through. You know what I'm saying? I have that same kind of faith that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had when they were facing trouble, death. They were subject to be put or to be burned for not worshiping an idol that Nebuchadnezzar put up intended for worship. You know, and so so the thing is that if I should ever, you know, make or get this virus, and I'm sorry that I'm taking so long to say this. I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. But if I should ever, you know, come up with, yeah, I'm sick, you know, of course you're gonna get some ignorant people that are gonna be like, this dude talking about he was invincible and all that kind of stuff. Now look at, he got this. No, that's not the case. But if I do, I know that my God will see me through. And that's the confidence that we need to have in our God. And that's what eradicates fear. That's what keeps us from being so fearful, so fearful about what it is that we fear. If we know that, no matter what it is that we go through, we will win at the end. And that's all I'm about to say. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.